Greetings, truth seekers. This is Oya Transformation, and I'm a little late today, but this is your daily oracle reading for September the 16th, 2021. Hump Day Wednesday. You're almost through it. The cards have been shuffled and divined, and the message is as follows. Started with a question today, and the question is based on the 4 cards that were drawn, and 3 of them highlighted a specific attribute, and that attribute is wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to act using knowledge, experience, common sense, which we know is not common, and insight, which we know does not have to be common either. So, with that said, let's get into the reading. The first card from the Language of Light deck is the Soul Journey, which is a 9. And 9s represent wisdom. But there's also a storm. It's an indigo storm. So I would say that a storm that would be the storm of the third eye. Well, along with the storm, in the midst of the storm, is a walkway, it looks like to me. I don't know about you, but there's a walkway right there that goes inside the storm. There's light there, and there's light shining through, which tells me it's safe there. Yet still it's a storm. The second card in this reading is from the Vortex deck, and it says I can look for things I appreciate in relationships. So that may be different for me, maybe different for you. Oftentimes we look for what doesn't belong. That's an early learning. We played these little games where they said, okay, look through this pack of things and pull out what doesn't belong. Well, depends on who you are and what you've been doing. It's a very strong possibility that we continue that at a higher level for infinitum. We're always looking for what doesn't belong. One of these things is not like the other. Well, how about one of these things is supposed to be not like the other? How about most of these things are not like the others? If you sit and take time and look at them deeply, below the surface. But it didn't ask us to go below the surface. That's what we do. We look deeply, we go below the surface, and we look for what does not belong. What's wrong with the thing? Well, this is saying that we find or take deeper looks at our relationships and look for what we can appreciate in them. This is the part of the journey that we're missing out on, because we have relationships we have not let go of. And oftentimes, I know myself, I could complain about what this relationship does or does not do for me. But let's talk about what it does do. How does this relationship assist me in this life journey, in this spiritual journey? How does this relationship enhance my spiritual vision? The third card, which would be the challenge, which is also a 9, speaking to wisdom, is transformation. The ability to change. Do you exercise the ability to change with regularity? Or do you just lump all relationships and everybody in the same pile and move on with what you thought had been working all along? Transformation says nothing stays the same, and I need to accept that. Life evolves through cycles of birth and death and rebirth. Now it's time of transition. and things are changing from one to another. I need to allow this to happen for its highest good. I am called to let go. Well, you know what? If I had $1 for every time I was called to let go, I'd be a wealthy woman. Right now, I'm getting my lunch money. I'd like to have a little extra spending change. So I'm going to take heed and look at letting go. So if I want to get on the path, stay on the path of alignment, of enlightenment, of my journeys, my spiritual journey's highest good, I need to change some of those belief systems that I've held on to. Work. He who works hardest, works longest, gets the most done. I don't know about you, but I can make a list a mile long and I can get a whole bunch of that stuff done. But if I was asked to prioritize that list and tell you what is the most important thing on the list, that might be the thing I didn't do. So we're being asked to change. In this alchemy deck, the Nine of Cups, wisdom once again. The Nine of Cups speaks to showing your self-love. And I think a lot of times I would judge a relationship on how much love do I feel when I'm around this specific person. How often do I feel like my needs are being met by this specific person, whomever it may be that I'm interacting with? And gauge that as to whether or not the relationship works. But we're being asked to change. So in that change, show yourself some love. Find what is in those relationships that you can always count on, that you can always be grateful for. And more importantly, show yourself the love you want to see in the other relationships in your life. What if they don't know how? What if they can't hear? The best sermon is always going to be the sermon walked out and not the sermon spoken. So I challenge you to do something nice for yourself, to show yourself some love, to let go of the tight grip you have on whatever is going on right now, and recognize that Spirit wants to work through you. So things are going to have to change. No matter how good you see them as right now, they're going to have to be different for you to continue to transform. We don't stop right here, even because it's real good. We can't stop here. You might want to savor it, but what we're being asked to do right now is let go of my criticism of the relationships in my life and show some love to myself so that I may be a little more ready to show a little more love to those folks that are in my life and spend a little less time talking about what's not right. So it's Wednesday. Wednesday's always work day, so we got work to do. The wisdom of this day is we've had a whole lot of days before. We've had a whole lot of experiences. Let's hope we have some insight. And we're being asked to be a little more gentle with the people we say we love, and a lot more gentle with ourselves. Criticism is good if it begins a new behavior. But if it's stuck and you can't change them, you can only change you. So what's the purpose of criticizing them? What part did you play? How can you change? Don't be such a so heavy-handed on your whippings. I'm talking about the whippings you give yourself or those you say you love, and do something nice. Be kind to yourself and others. Thank you for listening. Namaste, and have the best rest of this rainy Tuesday that you can imagine. Be well.